launches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of, it is actually rolling out to the pad as we speak.
Hmm.
So,
I saw
yeah.
that. I've got this. This little thing is my version of a tricorder, given all of the stuff that I keep, all of the apps that I keep on it.
Yeah.
I've got science apps galore on there, including launch apps. So I keep up with it.
All right. But Stephanie, one thing we like to do is first we're going to tell let you talk about make talk about yourself. Again, these word things, I just
I
uh,
understand.
it's uh, but yeah. So we're going to bring you up full screen so you can explain who you are, what you do, and what you think
All right.
of HallowCon after that.
Well, I'm Stephanie Osborn. I really am one of those rocket scientists you hear about. Please don't look at the background. I've been in the process of decluttering my house, so I've got stacks of stuff everywhere, trying to figure out where it's all going to go. So just kind of look right here, okay? Um, but yeah, I've got. I went to graduate school with Les Johnson. He and I are old friends, along with Dr. James Woosley, who is a particle physicist here in Huntsville, Alabama. I have graduate and undergraduate degrees in astronomy, physics, chemistry, mathematics. They I have been called a polymath. Um, I was kind of like, the first time anybody called me that, I was going to be the science guest of honor for LibertyCon, and they were like, "Can you do a panel about what it feels like to be a polymath?" And I'm like, "Why would I do that?" So that was the first time anybody ever called me a polymath, and I was kind of like, "What?" um, But yeah, I worked for over 20 years in the civilian and military space programs in various and sundry positions, including payload flight controller at Marshall Space Flight Center for shuttle, and then later on for station. Um, and so I've done everything from timeline or schedule what's going on board the shuttle to training astronauts, and kind of everything in between, just about. So I wound up losing a friend aboard the space shuttle Columbia when it broke up during reentry. And shortly thereafter, a couple years later, I kind of decided, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And so I got out and I finished the book that I had been writing, which wound up, actually, the book was already finished. I actually just polished it up, um, and got it published. It was called Burnout: The Mystery of Space Shuttle STS-281. And Travis Taylor was my writing mentor at the time, and he had it in hand at the time of the Columbia disaster. And why does that make a hill of beans worth of difference in anything? Because my fictional scenario basically wound up predicting what happened to Columbia. The only difference was my fictional scenario was also sabotage as opposed to just a stupid accident. Um, so I got out, and he talked me out of trashing it because that's what I wanted to do. But I got out of the program, and I polished it up, and he helped me find a publisher, and I signed my first publishing contract on tax day 2008, and now I write books, and I've got over 50 titles that I've authored, co-authored, or contributed to, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And so that's kind of where all of that went. Most of Instead of actually being science, although I do write some popular science, most of it is science fiction, usually with a strong touch of mystery to it. So that's kind of all about me. It's probably more than you wanted to know
Yeah.
about me.
Curie Bloodrose tuned in saying hi to us, so we're responding back to him. Now, Stephanie, you've been to HallowCon a few times. Well, we could actually classify you as several times now, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
And I keep coming back, and I keep coming back, and I keep coming back.
so what do you think of, you know, what was your opinion of HallowCon the first time you showed up, and as you have become a regular?
The first time I showed up, I had an absolute blast. Um, Not to mention, y'all feed us really good. Um, I had a good time. I saw a lot of people that I knew. I met a lot of new friends. Um, I ate a lot of good food. I talked with a lot of people. I sold a lot of books. I just generally had a good time, and I came home going, I got to do this again. And I kept trying and trying and trying to get my husband to come. Daryl Osborn is was fairly well known in the southeastern convention science fiction convention circuit. He was Doc Osborn, who showed up in a lab coat and pith helmet and did balloon animals and magic tricks for folks.
Yeah, he
Um,
So,
was a hell of a dude.
some
yeah.
of the most elaborate balloon sculptures you will ever see.
Oh yeah. Like full scale dragons and stuff. I mean, full size Daleks, full size what's the name of the robot from the original Lost in Space, the TV show? Um,
Robot.
Robot, yeah. But it's he had a name. He has a as had a designation, but I can never remember it because nobody ever called him that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he had a sense of humor like nobody's business, and I always tried to get him to come to HallowCon, but he always did a Halloween stage show here in Huntsville, and had since before I started going to HallowCon.
Yes.
So I never could wangle it, and now it's a little late. So
Yeah.
he he um, he died back in December. He'd had a heart problem for some years, and we he'd just had a cardiac ablation and a pacemaker installed, and evidently something went wrong there, and he just never quite pulled out of it. Pardon me.
Bless you.
I've
Uh,
been cleaning and stuff today, so I have a snoot full of dust.
yeah. Uh, can you remember any like events that happened at Halicon that you just, oh, I've got to see them do this again?
Well, I kind of like the big banquet dinner,
Yeah.
both the fancy one and the one where you just lay stuff out on the buffet. Um, I liked one thing I have yet to manage to do. Y'all pretty much do y'all do um, Rocky Horror Picture Show every year?
No, we only did it that one year. What
I
it
managed to miss it because I've never been to one,
oh,
but I managed to miss that one, and I was kind of like, I
I
hope they do it again.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Just be glad you missed that one.
Oh,
yeah, Chris Walker would be real glad you missed that one.
I'm gonna say Chris Walker was one of the better parts of that whole entire thing,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be not humble and say that I was one of the better parts of that thing. There were a lot of really good parts of that. What was really bad was all of the drunk moron alcoholic joiks that were at the thing that were supposed to have roles that didn't show up, or when they did show up, were total.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a nightmare. I'm glad that if we ever do that again, we're going to do it right. We're going to have somebody who knows what he's doing or what she's doing, put that together. We're going to have good
Oh,
people
yeah.
doing the shadow stuff. And if
Yeah.
it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm going to say that. Because the people that did show up and were ready to go and were good with it and you know, really on board with the whole entire thing did a fantastic job.
And
Chris, myself, Fritz.
I saw pictures of Fritz. That was like awesome,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
The people that goofed it real bad, just
well, you gotta remember,
some of them aren't even coming back to HallowCon, so we don't have to worry about them ever again.
Yeah.
You got to remember that you have volunteers, and whenever you have volunteers, you know, stuff happens.
You get what you pay
good.
for.
You get what you pay for. That's right. And so sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not quite so good.
Skunk, just to let you know, off here to the side, let me see if I can try to bring it around. Come on. God, I can't believe this little thing's that heavy. There is a new movie bot.
Ooh.
I don't know why he wanted to show us that like that. It's like, Joe, I think it would have been easier for you to just turn your camera than lifting the entire machine.
Hey, it's me. What do you expect?
I expect you to be smarter than that. You're usually pretty bright.
But no, it's a nice little machine. I forgot how heavy it was. But it's not much bigger than a notebook. Not a computer notebook. The notebook you carry paper in.
Yeah. Well, I know that, Donna has had some awesome costumes.
Yeah.
At HallowCon. And I remember a certain convention host carrying on a dance routine opening number for opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Complete with cane and everything, you know. Jeez.
I think Skunk's talking to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. And tried to perform a striptease, but everybody stopped him.
I remember a moonshine challenge.
Yeah. Those happen occasionally.
Yep. I remember some really, really good. There was a chili cook-off and some really, really good burgers. And oh my gosh, sitting around talking. There's usually where the convention is held. We usually have everything in one big room, and in the back of the room there's a slightly not quite walled off area where most of us who are authors have our book tables.
Yeah.
And
we call that the author's nook.
Yes. And some of the conversations we've had up there have been absolute howlers.
Oh yeah.
I took one of my my most recent writing protege up there to the convention last year before, I can't remember. And us ladies got off on a discussion of the proper fitting of certain undergarments that are peculiar to ladies.
Ah, okay.
And he was the only guy sitting there. And he turned about 12 shades of red, and he went off on this. Um, it was a routine predicated on football, but for just conversation, it was like uh, penalty, roughing the listener, and he just kind of went off like that, and if the whole area just lost it because he was doing all the hand signals and everything, and we just none of us had ever heard it before. We died laughing. I wish I could repeat it the way he
He
did it,
did. Yeah.
but
So
it
you're
was priceless.
so you're saying it's a lot about uh, uh camaraderie? Is that the
Yes,
word?
it's almost a family.
Yeah.
A lot of I see a lot of the people that I love to pieces from a lot of the other area conventions. And we all just sit around and we talk, and we do have panels, and everybody just has a good time. There's good food, there's good drink, and I'm not just talking about alcohol. Um, and there's usually over on a table to one side, there's usually a big bowl of Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, uh, I have got many a compliments on your panels
oh,
about the you know people walk out of your panels and sort of look around after Chickaloo. They walk out doing this after
uh,
after the New Madrid panel.
uh-huh.
You can see people sort of two on the table.
For those that have never sat in on any of my science presentations, I have a tendency. Let me back up and punt just a second. On social media, a lot of times I get people coming up to me because of my background in the various sciences. They want to ask me. I saw this headline, this news headline about such and such. Yellowstone is going to blow any minute, and or the West Coast is going to fall off in the ocean with the next earthquake. Just stuff like that. And so I get a lot of people coming to me asking me, "Is this true? Tell me about this." Occasionally, I get other authors coming to me with stuff like that. Um, and so I actually have started most of my popular science books are in that vein, and so I create presentations, which are kind of breakdowns of the main points in the books, although there's a lot more in the books that are discussions of these kinds of things. So they tend to be, like doomsday kind of
Uh,
the sort of stuff that you would see on the Thursday night movie, TV movie of the week kind of thing. Um, Super volcanoes, asteroid impacts, earthquake fault zones, solar flares, all this kind of stuff. Um, because those, and it helps that those are also interests of mine. So I can usually do a pretty good job of putting stuff together about it, and I can usually do a pretty good job of explaining it to folks. But because those things do happen, sometimes it's a case of, well, I hate to say it, it's not if, it's when.
yeah.
So, be prepared. But here's also the things that you can look for. Here are the things you can do to prepare. Here are the warning signs. Here's what you should do. So I
and
don't
it's
say, "Oh, it's gonna blow! It's gonna blow! We're all gonna die." No, this is how you don't die. These are the things to do, and that's usually how I try to end things.
and and you give it to them in terms that people can understand.
Well, yeah, it doesn't do any good to explain things to them if they don't understand your explanation. So, I had when I was in graduate school, I had the honor of meeting this dude named of Carl Sagan.
Okay, I've heard of
And
him.
hmm,
I've heard of him.
yeah, huh. And I'm sorry, certain guy that thought he was going to pick up and redo his classic series, you didn't do as good a job on it as Sagan did.
No.
Um, so, I guess, I kind of feel like, no, I ain't going to claim to be taking up his mantle, but uh, I had it. That was an influence. That was a definite influence, and so I try to pass it on.
Mm. Now, were you ever? I know you haven't participated, but were you ever a judge at the game we call Pumpkin Chunkin'?
No,
Oh, okay. Have you watched it from a distance?
yes, I'm not even going to attempt to explain it. I'm going to leave that one to you.
But it starts out as fun and games, and by the end of it, I mean we've got people giving death glares at each other.
Yeah, it gets serious. So pumpkin chunkin has nothing to do with trebuchets or slingshots or anything like that. But it's a really fun to watch game. I'm not sure. I'm handicapped, so it's not like I'm going to jump into playing it myself. But
Yeah, I would not even let you play.
yeah, I'm having enough time gimping across the room these days.
Now, I mean, I'd love to have you as a judge sometime.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that. I can see that happening.
But now, the first time you showed up for a guest banquet, were you expecting that much food?
No, nor that good food. I've been to banquets before, and it's usually a case of, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but usually what happens at a convention banquet is the hotel fixes the food, and so it's kind of mass produced, and it's good food for what it is. But this, my gosh, this was a gourmet meal. There was this had no. I mean, I'm sorry that hotel doesn't have a kitchen as such, anyway. So it's not like they can produce the food. But my goodness, that was excellent food. Very well, very perfectly seasoned. Absolutely, just delicious. Everything cooked just so, and some of it a little bit on the spirited side. Let us say.
Yeah.
I got snockered on the dessert one year.
Yeah. Oh, that was yeah. But yeah, we've got a new cook, Megan, who cooked. Did you try the ribs? Did you get the ribs last year?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Brian Morris says he was so excited. Ribs, good Southern style ribs. Reached down, picked up a bone, and
And the
the
meat
ribs
fell off it.
and the meat fell off. He goes, "Ooh."
Uh huh. Hmm.
And but the thing is, not just the guests get those meals. The only
Yeah.
thing that the guests got that everybody else didn't was the ribs. All that other food was specifically cooked for everybody. Of
Yeah,
course, the rest of the crowd got it as a buffet. The guest banquet gets it. It's actually served to them.
yeah. It's a sit down meal and it's served, which is lovely. It's a really really nice touch. So
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm going to continue for a few years to come. Anyway,
so explain about Grillzilla.
oh, Grillzilla. Well, actually, let me do this. Grillzilla was created by Dutch Stacy, who was the pretty much the founder of HallowCon, and he, uh, you know, like you like you said, the hotel was providing food and all that, and it was not that great. It was sustenance for a convention, but it wasn't satisfying. So he came up with the idea of actually uh, cooking the food. So he developed Grillzilla.
Which is not to say that the hotel wasn't cooking the food, but that he was going to cook the food himself.
Yes. Uh,
I've been editing today. Can you tell?
yeah. Well, Grillzilla, uh, again, 25 years ago, this thing was built. And she was beginning to show her age. And
Mm.
I did a little extra and say that again. Oh,
Monster grill, huge.
yeah. Um, Actually, I'm going to pull it up right here. That is the new version. We ha- now have a
Nice.
we now have a let me get here. Can you see my mouse wiggling around
Uh
here?
huh. Uh huh.
That is a 36-inch flat top griddle. This down here is our stove eyes. And up here on the grill section, if you notice those look sort of white,
Mm-hmm.
that's because they are still wrapped in the
Oh,
package. Those are brand new uh,
grill grates.
grill grates, stainless steel grill grates for,
Oh,
yes. Grillzilla is good for another 10, 15 years, I hope.
nice. Grillzilla is it's kind of like you'll notice it's got wheels under it. It's got tires under there. It's kind of like
Yes.
you hitch it up and you tow it. It's big.
It's a 5x8 trailer. And I don't know if people are noticing here, these things right here. That's so when our cooks are out cooking and it's inclement weather, they stay dry.
I remember a few years back, uh, we I'm not sure what happened, but the monsoons decided to descend on Dalton, Georgia. Do you remember that year?
Oh yes.
And it just poured and poured and poured and poured.
I think it
And
started raining Friday morning and cleared up Sunday afternoon.
yeah, and it was kind of like um, there were areas around the hotel. It rained so much. There was one set of concrete stairs that led from one level to another, and it turned into a waterfall. That was kind of interesting to watch. It just got set there.
It was a
And
lot
then,
of rain.
yeah, it was a lot of rain. That was kind of unusual. I've seen it snow at HallowCon also. Um,
Uh, okay, that.
one of the first years I was there, it was real cold.
Oh yeah, it spit snow. That was when
Yeah.
the history. It actually spit
Mm-hmm.
snow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'll drive home in the snow.
Yeah. Let
So
me figure out where that's okay.
yeah, I think that's a good arrangement.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's at this point I can't tell you. I can no longer separate out which year what happened,
Yeah.
because I've been to enough of them that kind of.
Yeah. Of course, me and Skunk can tell you there's one year that stands out great in our minds about 10 years ago at the 10th anniversary HallowCon. This year's the 20th. We actually had an incident at the hotel kill that the power company had to cut power service to the hotel.
Ooh,
And we actually come, the hotel says, you're welcome to stay. So we did. And thanks to Grillzilla, everybody had a hot meal. And we proceeded to a convention by candlelight.
hey, whatever works. That was before my time.
Yeah, that was before your time. I'm sure Rob Brown remembers that one in there. But yeah, we.
And yeah, Rob, it's making me hungry too.
Um, but that's
Steaks, burgers, ribs, these people know how to.
barbecue.
Yeah, y'all know how to cook, man.
Crystal June chimed in. She said, I got there right after the fire trucks did. And Rob goes, yeah, we covered the hotel with candles.
Hey,
But and that was probably one of my more favorite conventions.
well, you know what? HallowCon. I mean, I can see that. You know, so
It
it's
worked.
you sit around and you tell ghost stories by candlelight, and you eat good food, and you talk, and you have fun, and a certain amount of programming, I guess, could still be done. I couldn't do. I wouldn't have been able to do my presentations because
No.
those are PowerPoint, you know, slides and stuff that I talk to there. But um, but yeah, you can do about everything else.
Yeah.
So
And
that
Anita
that
says, she says she's heard about the 10-year candlelight Halicon.
I have too, and I kind of regret that I missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
really
really
is a
is.
family. And Stephanie, you're starting to break up on me, like your mic's not all the way plugged in, or I don't know what happened. All right,
Test one
try
two
it.
test 1 2 test 1 2
All
test
right,
1 2.
let me try something here. Uh, okay, try again.
Test 1 2 test 1 2 test 1 2.
I do not know what is going on. Uh,
Let me try
yes,
something else
Crystal.
here.
Yeah, Crystal June says the consuite had power. Yeah, it did have power because we plugged my car into it.
Oh,
And Stephanie, that's when people started really learning how Joe Dog really is. Uh, it was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. I have an inverter in my car to power, for
okay.
AC power. Well, I thought, well, I can at least run all the Christmas lights. That shit much of a draw. So I went, just sort of snake extension cord around and ran it out the door. Backed the car up, plugged it in, reached down, flipped the inverter on, and I heard everybody go, "Yeah!" I thought, no, click. flipped it off. You can hear him go, oh. I flipped it on a second time. Yay! I flipped it off again. Oh. Flipped it on the third time, and I thought, yeah, they're cheering, they're happy, and I thought, now I got to do it again. And just as soon as I flipped it off, I heard a guy yell, "Where's Joe Dog?"
And who do you think the guy yelling "Where's Joe Dog" was?
Well, I heard JJ. I think it was you and JJ at the same time.
Well, no, it was me, and then JJ was the one who went, "Oh yeah, that's right. Where's Joe Dog at?"
Oh, and then there was the artist guest who was extremely happy for the opening ceremonies one year. And guess who I've hired to do the cover art from my next book, Joe?
Who?
Him.
Dimitri?
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. Yeah. He said
Nice guy. He's an absolute darling, but he was one of the.
We got to keep him on a short leash this year.
Yeah, he was. Oh man.
But he likes
wine is a privilege, not a right.
He likes my books, and I like his artwork. And my cover artist is no longer with us, so we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank
Dimitri
you.
is a good guy.
And Fritz is also going to be doing cover art for me. So betwixt the two of them, I think I can probably. But Fritz is he's got his day job to worry about, and so he can't always be there. So now I've got Dimitri to back things up.
Yeah. Well, I am proud of Fritz because Fritz is moving up in his career.
Yes, he is.
And it's taking
and he has been an absolutely huge help to me in the wake of Daryl's death.
Wow.
He's done a lot of stuff around the house, a lot of cleaning and handyman work and stuff that I physically was unable to do, and he's come over and he's helped. And he's not the only one. I've had a number of people coming over and helping, but it's meant a lot.
Yeah. Of course, Kiri goes, I don't know how many short leashes are we going to need this year.
Well, just bring a hank of rope and some collars.
That'll work. And Anita says it's taking him away from conventions and that we miss it. Yeah, we
do. I'll if he doesn't see this, I'll let him know.
Okay. Oh, but that's
you heard the latest of what's going on there, right?
No.
Yeah, Stacy came down with COVID. They're under quarantine right now.
Again?
Yep.
Oh.
And thank you for that, Anita. I appreciate that, and I will take all the prayers I can get, honey. Because it's today in particular was a rough day. I mean, I was I was female dogging to Joe Dog earlier before we went on the air about I swear nothing went right today.
I'll tell you, if I ever have a week that everything goes right, I'm going to hide somewhere.
Well, a week where everything heck, I'd just settle for a day where something went right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're not kidding.
I'm I'm a little frustrated, guys. Still a relatively new widow, still working out how to make everything work for me, and it was unexpected. There was no will. I just got everything through the probate court last week, and I'm still trying to play catch up on some stuff where that's concerned, and it's not going well because nobody wants to talk to me about it. And I'll shut up now. That's not nothing to do with HallowCon. Sorry, I'm just
Well,
frustrated.
I am tired of renting room to Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Mr.
So,
Murphy, attorney at law, he can practice somewhere else.
well, you had a time of it. I remember earlier in the summer with Grillzilla on account of Mr. Murphy was helping you with Grillzilla, and you didn't want his help.
No, that thing was. I, I've some of the scars have. Well, some of the injuries have healed up, but there's going to be scars to talk about. Oh, but Stephanie, can you think of anything else about Halicon?
Oh
Uh,
well.
Let me ask you this: I
Okay.
I give out guest packages.
Yes.
Are
Yes.
they good to?
Yeah.
Are they adequate, or are they?
Oh yeah. Um. Jeez. Yeah, they're quite adequate. There's all kind of stuff in those things.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah,
Uh,
Lawyer Murphy and Grillzilla didn't get along at all. No, Anita, they didn't. Sorry.
uh, but
Oh well.
for those that don't know about the guest packet, I personally write a letter to
Yes,
every guest.
and I know where he's going with this, and I'm kind of like a little brain dead tonight, so you'll have to excuse me. But I got a really really cool thing in my um guest
Oh
gift
yes.
bag here just recently. Um, so Joe knows that I worked the space program, and he knows I trained astronauts. And somehow or other, he managed to get hold of, and I don't have it here to read the information. Was it Columbia?
Columbia.
He got hold of some of the thermal blanketing from Shuttle Columbia, which was the bird that I personally worked with the most, but also had a friend of mine on board when it broke up. And he had some of the thermal blanketing from Columbia made into a special lanyard for me. And it's a segment of the lanyard is in that thermal blanketing, and the rest of it is space themed material. So it's just this absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous lanyard for my badge and stuff. I actually have been kind of careful. Don't shoot me for this. I haven't been wearing it as a lanyard for my badges because I'm afraid I'll mess it up.
Well, that's understandable. But that section of fabric came because, from what I understand from the lady that I got it from, they would pretty much strip the thermal insulation out of the cargo bay
Mm-hmm.
and install new every flight.
Because you don't want to risk damage, because
Yeah,
that's a sure way to lose a shuttle. Now, what most people don't realize is not all of the shuttle is tiled. Certain areas of the shuttle, most notably inside the payload bay, use something called thermal blanketing, which is a special material, and it is a material that it's insulating. And so the gray tiles are carbon carbon composite, and they uh, take the highest heat. The black tiles take the next highest heat, then the white tiles, and then the thermal blanketing. So you put the thermal blanketing, the thing comes in belly first. So you put the tiles, the intense stuff on the bottom of the shuttle, and then any thermal blanketing goes up here where it's not going to really get that much heat. So, and that
Now,
saves you from having to tile the whole thing.
and the thing is that shuttle flight was the shuttle flight that had the first female pilot
That's
and
right.
commander.
Yes.
So
So, so it was,
it,
it was really cool. It meant a lot.
yeah. Oh, but that's, you know, and there's always surprises at HallowCon.
Oh
You
yes.
never know what I'm going to do, but usually there's tears, laughter, and love afterwards.
Oh yeah. And sometimes all three at once.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, Skunk, by the way, we do have a staff meeting this Sunday.
I'll take a rain check on that.
Oh, okay.
I have a gig.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, after Sunday, I go into beast mode for HallowCon.
gotcha. Hey,
Like I'm not anyway.
And to be fair, like me, I like to show up for all the meetings. I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
I know what to do. I know what my job is, and I handle my job. I get my
Yeah.
job done whether I'm at the meetings or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you
This
need to
is
let me know anything, you could always DM me.
yeah. Yeah.
am I
This is mainly getting the food. We start planning our food budgets and everything starting this Sunday. We don't rush it. It's full
who's
on.
dinging?
That was me. I was. Oh, okay. They are now officially rolling SLS to the pad.
Oh, am I sounding any better?
Oh yeah, that's whatever you did fixed it.
Okay, my laptop battery was starting to get low, so I,
Ah,
I plugged in the power cord. So that must have been what was causing it. So
all right. Thank you, Anita. Oh, but yeah, that's all right. We're down to like the last 8 minutes of the show. So again, Stephanie, it's time to play author Stephanie, and where to get all your information, all
oh
that.
sure. You can find everything on my website, which is www.stephanie-osborn.com. Everything I've got is available in ebook. Most of it is available in trade paperback. So you've got Kindle and Nook editions and trade paperback. So heck, go to Amazon.com and search on Stephanie Osborn, and it'll pull up my author page.
Okay. And any books that are,
Oh,
uh,
that are recommended.
yes.
Well, you actually, that's kind of like asking a parent which is your favorite child. But yeah,
Eh,
right now,
Is there any new babies that people
re-
need to know about?
real new babies. I no, I've kind of been struggling with writing since Daryl's death. But that said, my Division 1 series is going well. and I have been writing in Richard Wyand's Empire series as well, at his invitation. And so I've got 4 books in that series and at least 2 more coming out. And then if you like the sort of stuff that we've been talking about here, you can always check out my first novel, Burnout, which is a novel about a space shuttle disaster. The difference is it turns out not to have been an accident, it was sabotage. So, and that comes out fairly early on, so it's not a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
Um, who did it and why is the and how are the main questions there. So, uh, yeah, it's I have now. Be aware that when I write, I often inject a lot of humor into my books, and particularly with the Division 1 series, I tell people I write that one with my tongue planted so firmly in my cheek that it's poking out the side of my face. So be aware of that. Don't think that that means that you won't find them exciting. I've been blamed for more sleepless nights because people lost track of the time while they were reading than you would realize. So,
All right. Uh,
so
but yeah, that's. Oh, yeah. Skunk made a short outro, so we
oh,
still
cool.
got. Yeah. Yeah. Skunk made that intro, and he made the outro. You know, Stephanie. All I'm going to say is, if you sweet talking, Skunk does make good book promos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
It's like I know I do good work and everything, and I appreciate it, but everybody keeps like, uh,
Skunk. Skunk. We're gonna make.
I don't have time for the projects I have now. I have a full-time job. I drive a truck for a living.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
I'm
gonna
gonna.
get you out of that truck and make you.
Uh, if I had all of the free time and stuff and everything to be able to do that, that'd be nice. If I just work on
understood.
videos all day,
Not a
that
problem.
would be the dream. No, I did not. If you wanted to highlight Anita's comment there, I did
Yeah.
not do those.
Yeah.
The book promo I did, the one that everybody knows me for, was for uh, uh,
Michaela
uh,
Jades.
Michaela Jade. Thank you. I was drawing a blank. Michaela Jade's Warriors trilogy, which now is apparently a quadrilogy. So I guess at some point I need to update that trailer to add the 4th book. But it was really embarrassing because I felt like it needed a voiceover, so I did this voiceover for it. And then after that, I got like 8 million comments on all these live streams on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network about how Skunk has such a sexy voice. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Are you coming?
I don't have a sexy voice. I'm just a very good actor.
Uh, Speaking of Dan Jolly, are you coming up for next chapter this year, Stephanie? Or
No, Joe, because the only way I was able to make that work was with Daryl
yeah, okay,
because me not being a morning person, and in order to get there, we had to leave out before dawn, and then he had to load and unload and then load up my books at the end of the day. And with nobody to help, that's just not
okay.
going to happen.
Oh, I get
I
it.
hate it because we've been there pretty much every year, but I just don't think I'm going to make it this year. Well, there's no we anymore, so yeah, we're not going to make it for sure. But
All right. Well, that's for people that are listening. That's at the. It's in Dalton, but it's the at the big trade center in Dalton. The first weekend of October, Halloween.
yeah,
The Halloween first weekend of Halloween month. October.
Yeah, Halloween is a 31-day holiday for me.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, no, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, it's not. It's a 61 day because imockery.com always did the 2 months of Halloween. The start in September, so all of September and October. I miss that website, man.
for everybody in the DFW area, I will be at FinCon in September, the weekend of the 16th. I will be. Let's see, what's my next? I will be at Deep South Con 60 here in Huntsville, the weekend of the 21st of October. I'll be at HallowCon the weekend of the 28th, and we'll be at Conjuration in Atlanta, November the weekend of November 4th, and
Okay.
that will finish me off for the year.
All right. Well, you may actually get to meet my granddaughter because we're planning on taking her to Conjuration.
Cool.
I'll be a
Uh,
walking zombie, but yeah, and it is that.
it's time.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie, so much.
Thank
Hang
you for
around for
having me.
just a second, and we will. This is a short outro, but say good. It's goodbye, everybody, and we will see everybody next Tuesday night. Guests
Night,
to be
everybody.
announced.
Bye.
Good night.
And with that, good night.